Good evening and welcome to Daily Red Devil and welcome to the Manchester United versus Copenhagen match preview. An absolutely massive game. It's a must win. Before we jump into the match preview, please do make sure to smash a like on the video. Please do subscribe to the channel if you are new, and let's get straight on into it. So, obviously, Erik ten Hag spoke to the press earlier on today alongside Diogo Dalot, asked quite a lot of different questions, and some of the key things taken from the press conference was this. Casemiro is back in training, so that's a massive positive. So is Reguilon, so is Kobbie Mainoo. So there's quite a few players coming back from injury tomorrow. And I think tomorrow is going to be one of the first games in a while where we're actually starting to see a bit more of a, I'm not going to go as far as saying full strength side, but we're getting closer by the week to actually starting to see probably our best 11. So let's have a look at the predicted lineup I've put together here. So I've gone with Onana in goal. I think that one's kind of obvious. Obviously, Altay Bayinda. Altay Bayinda could maybe get some game time. I wouldn't be against it, but I think Erik ten Hag will. He always seems to pick Onana, doesn't he? So I would imagine Onana will start. I've gone with Sergio Reguilon at left back. That has to happen. He's back from injury. He's our only fit left back. I think he's done well since he's joined. I even said a couple of weeks ago that I thought he was our best signing of the summer so far. I thought he'd been really good, and then he got injured. So he's back. That's really positive. I've gone with Harry Maguire and Raphael Varane as the two centre-back partnerships. I think that's... Maguire did decent against Sheffield United on the weekend, and I think Varane, when he's fit, has to start. Diogo Dalot at right back, I think that's, again, no problem with that. And then midfield, I've gone for Casemiro and Amrabat. So obviously, Amrabat played against Sheffield United. I thought he was pretty good. You know, I wouldn't say he was world class, but he was decent. And then Casemiro was in training today. So yeah, Casemiro should be available for the game tomorrow. So I would get Casemiro involved. We need his experience. Yes, it's not the most attacking, midfielders, but I think Casemiro has put quite a few goal contributions in this season. So I have no issue with, Amrabat maybe hanging back a bit and allowing Casemiro to push forward a bit more. And then in the attacking areas, again, it's probably a little bit controversial. My predictions almost what I think Erik ten Hag will do, maybe not exactly what I would do. So Rashford on the left, Højlund up front, Fernandes as the centre attacking midfielder, and Mason Mount as the right winger. I think that's what will probably happen. I'd be very surprised, if Fernandes is out on the wing, especially now that Anthony's back. I'd be very surprised. But I think Mason Mount deserves to start. I don't know why he didn't play against Sheffield United. We just spent, £60 million on him. I think he needs to start matches. I think he looked good before the international break and before he got injured. So I would give him some game time. But let me know what your score predictions are for this match tomorrow. Obviously, we have to win this game. It's an absolute must-win game. I know that sounds kind of obvious, and all games should be a must-win match for Manchester United. But this one in particular, obviously, it's the first game at home since the sad passing of Sir Bobby Charlton. Yes, obviously the first match since then. They need to go out and absolutely batter Copenhagen. They do. They need to do it. That they have to. There's no excuses here. By where's the group goes, let's have a little look at how the group is looking so far. So obviously we've got 0 points, as you all know. Lost to Bayern, lost to Galatasaray. If we win tomorrow, we will go up to third place in the group, which isn't terrible. I mean, obviously it's not good. Galatasaray are on 4 points and Bayern Munich are on 6 points. Now, I would imagine Bayern to beat Galatasaray, but crazy things happen in football. Maybe Bayern will lose. They are away at Galatasaray. We will know the result of the Bayern game by the time our game starts. They're playing at 5:45 UK time. So by the time our game kicks off, we'll know exactly where we are in the group. I think if Bayern lose to Galatasaray, I would probably say that the group is done, to be honest. If they lose, because then Galatasaray would be on 7 points and Bayern would be on 6 points and we'd be on 0. We'd be on 3 if we beat Copenhagen. I know that maybe sounds a little bit premature, but when you think we've got to play Galatasaray away, Copenhagen away, and then Bayern Munich at home, of those 3 games, we lost to Galatasaray at home. Are we going to beat them away from home? Maybe. I don't think Galatasaray were that good, to be honest. Copenhagen, I don't really know. I don't watch enough Danish football to really comment on them. I imagine we should be able to beat Copenhagen. But Manchester United away from home, we don't seem to be very strong. So I think if we win tomorrow, Galatasaray lose tomorrow, then I think the group is really, really open. All we have to then go and do is go and beat Galatasaray away from home, beat Copenhagen away from home, and we've pretty much qualified. So it is all still possible, but as you guys all know, we need to beat We need to beat Copenhagen tomorrow. Now, interestingly enough, Copenhagen have two of Rasmus Højlund's brothers who play for them, which is pretty crazy. So I didn't even realise this. I was doing a bit of research into them earlier, and yeah, so they've got two brothers of Rasmus Højlund who are still playing at Copenhagen. Obviously, Rasmus Højlund originally came from Copenhagen, so Emil Højlund and Oscar Højlund. One's a striker and one is a CDM. Whether or not they'll play, I don't know. They're still very like up and coming players. They're not, they're not first team players. One's 18 and the other is 18. I think they're twins. Well, they must be if they're both 18 years of age. So it's his twin brothers, not identical. One's a CDM and one's a striker. I'd be surprised if they start tomorrow. They're literally like just broken into the team, but you never know. By way of players to look out for Copenhagen, they've got Victor Claesson, who's a player. I mean, we're clutching on straws here. Like, they don't have any world-class players. I'm going to be honest with you. I'll probably be sat here tomorrow afternoon and we'll have lost. We'll lose and we'll all be like, how have we just been beaten by them, But yeah, like when you look through their squad, they don't have any really notable players, to be completely honest with you. They don't. Like, obviously Rasmus Højlund was their most kind of big player to come through the team in the recent years. Yeah, like most of their players are either people they've got as a free transfer. I mean, the total market value of their squad, right? This is crazy. The total market value of their squad is 47 million euros. When you think that we paid more for Onana than what their whole squad's worth, and that is a squad consisting of about 25 players. So we paid more money for one player than they paid for their whole squad. So that kind of sums it up for me. They've got a lot of people who are towards the end of their career. They've got a lot of like young prospects. Obviously, they're going to come and want to beat Manchester United. It'll probably be the biggest game of most of their careers, to be honest, and they're going to really, really be hungry. Simon says Copenhagen are bang average, but so are we. Yeah, I mean, considering the circumstances, I'm expecting Manchester United to go out and absolutely batter them. I'm going with 4-0 tomorrow. You're thinking, what the hell is this guy talking about? But you've got to have a bit of confidence, 4-0 Manchester United tomorrow. I think Rasmus is going to get a hat-trick, obviously playing against his former club, his boyhood club, I believe. I believe he's from Copenhagen originally. Playing against his, the club that he's originally from. Is that correct? No. So he originally was at Brøndby, which is another Danish club, and then moved to Copenhagen at under 19 level. So he was there for a few years. But yeah, I reckon he's going to get a hat-trick tomorrow. He's got 3 goals in 2 games already in the Champions League. He hasn't got any goals in the Premier League, as you guys all know, but so far he's the leading goal scorer in the Champions League, Rasmus Højlund. And I think tomorrow he's going to add some goals to his tally, and I think he's going to get 3. I think this is going to be his day. But let me know what your score predictions are for the game tomorrow. It's only a short video today, just for the match preview. Let me know what your predictions are. Kevin says, controversial statement here, but if we don't progress from the Champions League group stage, we can focus on the league. We aren't winning the Champions League this year. Yeah, I agree. Paul says, why have you picked Rashford over Garnacho? The thing is, right, it's all good and well us having opinions, but I just think that Erik ten Hag's going to pick Rashford. I would be absolutely shocked if he picks Garnacho. Whether I want him to pick Garnacho or not is a whole nother matter. I think this, by way of predicted lineups, I think what we've got out here is probably as close to what it's going to be. Let's see what else people are saying in the chat. Carl says Jordan Larsen is in Copenhagen is the son of Henrik Larsen. Okay, I didn't know that. That's interesting. But yeah, obviously they got a result against Galatasaray, didn't they? They got a draw, I think it was. Was it 2-2? And then they obviously lost to Bayern Munich. Yeah, we've got to go and beat them, and we've got to beat them convincingly. We haven't seen a convincing performance this season, other than the performance against... Who was it against? It was against Crystal Palace, the 3-0. That was the only convincing performance of this season. Tomorrow needs to be a convincing performance. It needs to be a clean sheet, and it needs to be 2, 3, 4 goals. That's my expectation for tomorrow. Anything less than that, I'm going to be disappointed. Obviously, we will be doing a watch-along for that game. We'll be live from about 7:30 p.m. UK time, so make sure you get involved in that. I'm going to wrap the video up here, guys, but do let me know what your score predictions are in the comment section below, and I'll see you all tomorrow morning for your usual morning show. I hope everyone has a nice evening, and I'll speak to you all a bit later. Make sure to smash a like and subscribe as well before you go. Catch you all later. Mm-hmm.